Hey friends. So here I want to develop an insight that Bruner mentions just in passing. So he talks about very briefly how feminists of his day, right? So Bruner was working in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. How feminists rightly point out that women's self-narratives are affected by men's self-narratives. So the stories that men tell themselves are going to affect the stories that women tell themselves. And of course, vice versa, right? The stories that women tell themselves are going to affect the stories that men tell themselves, right? The story we all tell ourselves are going to affect stories that we all tell ourselves, put broadly. But this brings us to an important point that's emerged in the last, sort of really strongly in the last 10 or 15 years. And that's a matter of representation in the culture. So the stories we tell ourselves, insofar as we are members of different kinds of social groups, these narratives are sometimes represented in the broader culture, in broader media. And so, if the broader media, if our cultural storytelling tends to represent men in a certain way, women in a certain way, racial minorities in a particular way, non-straight or trans folks in particular ways. These stories that are present in the cultural narratives shape our own stories about ourselves, as well as the stories we use to understand other people's behaviors. And so what Bruner is alluding to in points in the chunk of the chapter that we read is that representation in the culture really does matter. And it matters because the cultural narratives shape how we think about ourselves.